So here's a bit more about this month's solo piano arrangement. And as I had mentioned in the more beginner level, there are attachments that are here, PDFs. There are 3. And I hope that you at this sort of intermediate level will either print those or open them up on your screen or tablet or whatever you're using here. They'll be really very helpful. There's something I want to mention right out of the gate, and that is that at this level, I'm hoping to sort of speak freely about quartal harmony, about triads, about complete chords and incomplete chords, about what jazz musicians refer to as guide tones. Those are the 3rd and 7th, respectively, of a chord, whether it be a major 3rd or minor 3rd, a major 7th or a minor 7th. So I'm going to sort of throw those terms around quite aplenty. Anyway, let me start by playing the arrangement, and this is going to be a little bit more brisk than the beginner level. 2, 3, 4, blue and green. Here's a little coda that I wrote. It's just a tag. It's just really the first 3 bars, with this exception right here, which is D melodic minor, D minor major 7. So let's unpack a little bit, and it's so fun to play this. I love the fact that it's not a 12-bar blues, it's not a 32-bar form, it's not even 8/8/8/8. It's very unusual, it's very unique. It's a 10-bar form, 10 bars. In addition to that, even though there's a lot of sort of motivic repetition in a loose sense, in a general sense, it's through composed. There's nothing that repeats exactly, and the chords are absolutely delicious. They are rife with very advanced harmonic, melodic sounds. So what a beautiful, beautiful composition. Really, it's absolutely delightful. Here's the point I want to get to at this sort of intermediate level, and that is this. Oftentimes in jazz, in either writing jazz, arranging jazz, or even playing jazz, whether you are a polyphonic instrument, as we are here as pianists, or a guitar being polyphonic, or if you are a monophonic instrument, even trumpet or saxophone or whatnot, to think in terms of an upper structure triad is a very powerful thing. To think in terms of an upper structure triad is very powerful. So if you think about it, we here at the piano, this little laboratory, whether you're performing as a pianist or you're an arranger's pianist, we have these 2 structures here. And what I'm choosing to do in this particular piano arrangement is play the chord down here in my left hand, the chord sound, the given, the root, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7 down here. And on top of that, I'm sort of mixing and matching. I'm choosing a whole different chord, but that helps me as a musician to really make something that is fairly complex, really very simple. In some cases, I'm just using a triad here and a triad here, or a 7th chord here and a triad here, or a 7th chord here and some 4ths up here, whatever the case may be. So let's take a peek at that. And you'll find one of the PDFs is labeled as worksheet. So if you'll indulge my invitation to you, I would say print that sheet and have a number 2 pencil ready to write there. And this is now a wonderful worksheet. First measure. If you look just at your right hand, you say, well, gosh, that's an A minor triad. Sure, in this context, it produces 9, 11, and 13. But what a wonderful way to get a G minor 13 by saying, gosh, I'll play G minor 7 here and a very simple triad, A minor triad here. So if you wish, in that worksheet, in that first space, simply write A minor or A minus or A min or however you write A minor. And you might even parenthetically write root to say that, gosh, this is a root position triad. What a beautiful sound. Let's do the next one, second measure. Obviously, that is an F triad in root position. Write that in the second measure. This is F triad, but I have pitted it. I have sort of force-fit it. I have kind of commingled it with A7. And you'll notice in the left hand, it's just the guide tones. It's just the guts of that chord, the flat 7 and the 3. Sometimes I like to do this. I hold the pedal down and I'll play the root down there just to feel that full sound. Third measure. This is a little bit of a harder question because the triad, it is a triad, you're holding 3 notes, but the triad is disguised. It's not in root position, it's in first inversion. So this is, if you will, and I'll walk you through how I process. I'm going to take that top tone and put it on the bottom. Now I can clearly see it's in root position. It's tertial or tertian in thirds. It's an A minor chord, so the given is A minor in first inversion. If I, in that third measure, if I couple that with the D minor in my left hand, I'm putting an A minor chord over a D minor chord. Voila, D minor 9. Amazing, amazing. What a wonderful way. There are many ways to learn things, but this is such a wonderful way to learn advanced jazz sounds by simply mixing and matching disparate triads or seventh chords. It's a different approach, but it's a wonderful outcome. Second part of measure 3, there's your D flat 7, D flat, there's the third, there's the flat 7, and in my right hand I'm playing this. It is an E flat triad, second inversion. You might write that, E flat major, second inversion. Delicious. Fourth measure, C minor, B flat major. Put them together, C minor 11. How delightful, C minor 11. It's very similar. That measure is very similar to the first measure in construction. It's all in thirds, as you see. Space, 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 space. Last measure, bar 4. I've got E flat and A, that's the guts. That's the guide tones of the F7, the guts of a dominant chord. Up here, I've got a D major triad. That fourth measure, holding the pedal. Delightful. F13 with a flat 9 is nothing more than a regular F7 with a D major triad crammed on top of it. Second stave, measure 5. Here's a B flat major 7 chord. It is incomplete. This would be complete, of course. B flat major 7. I'm taking the 5th out. And I'm taking with my right hand a happy, happy C chord in second inversion and fusing those two together. That's amazing. That's the kitchen sink. That's B flat major 13 with a sharp 11. There's 13, natural 9, sharp 11. Oh. Measure 6, same as measure 2. Moving on. Very similar to measure 3, slightly different. I have a D minor triad here in my left hand and an E minor triad in my right hand. 3 more to go. You'll notice the left hand is root. There's the third. I've got my flat 7 here. I'm doing it with my right hand to get quartal harmony in my right hand. Beautiful, beautiful. C major 7 or an E minor chord in my right hand. There's the root, there's the guide tones. And then another example of quartal harmony. I have a little bit more to share with you at this intermediate level. So just to summarize at this sort of intermediate level of understanding of my solo piano arrangement of blue and green, I hope you found it helpful. I certainly find it helpful in my life to think about upper structure triads, or sometimes I refer to them as polychords. Really, that's what they are. It's taking two disparate chords and sort of cramming them together. I find it a very powerful way to share a very advanced sound while only using very simple triadic, in some cases, seventh chord construction. So it's a really neat way of learning. And I have some challenges for you. One is, especially if you're at sort of, an intermediate level playing, or even if you're at a pro level of playing, if you play songs that seem to be conducive to this approach, create a worksheet like I've created and do that on your own. See if you can find a melodic tone and then a triad that goes with that melodic tone and marry that with the given chord. It's really a powerful and wonderful, wonderful thing. So in summary, I'll play it one more time and say what I'm playing as I go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. A minor over G minor 7. F triad over A7. The guide tones are there. This is A minor over D minor. E flat major. A B flat chord becomes a D chord over F7. C chord really tucked in the B flat major 7. This is F over A7. This is the same as measure 2. E minor over D minor. What a lovely Dorian sound. Here comes quartal harmony. That's like an E minor triad over A minor 7. Here's another example of quartal harmony. I'm going to play the coda. This is the little tag, just like the first measure. This is just like the second measure. Like an A major triad over D minor 6. It's wonderful. I hope you watch the next level, the sort of pro advanced level, and stretch to learn. It's going to be the same notes, but I'm going to sort of speak about it through a different prism and have some other suggestions to offer as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great week. I hope you have a great month. And I can't wait to share another solo piano arrangement with you. Thanks.